is Alexandra Thurel. I'm the product manager for IBM Workload Automation. I work in Rome, in Italy, and I'm here with Steve Brasen, analyst director from the research group EMA.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to speak with you today, Alexandra. I am actually Managing Research Director for Systems Management at EMA. We're an analyst firm focusing on providing independent analysis and research on particular topics. My team covers the breadth of systems management, and including, of course, workload automation.
Great. So we are here today to discuss about the value of automating the background execution of IT and application workloads to avoid repetitive manual activities or errors. And actually also the fact that the workload automation is not anymore a domain for large enterprise, but also for smaller ones, like you wrote recently in the blog, Steve. So I would like to start with your definition of workload automation.
Yeah, it's a great question, a great place to start too. So let's start with what is a workload. A workload is actually any application or job that runs on an IT system. However, not all workloads are continuously running, of course. Many, in fact most really, need to be run in response to a specific set of conditions. They need to run at a specific time, on a specific server, and with specific operating parameters. Automation is typically used to make sure that these workloads run appropriately. Now, this used to be referred to as job scheduling. Now, as the name implies, though, job scheduling tools were principally, back then, limited to the placement of individual workloads, but we're not very good at orchestrating complex workflows consisting of multiple tasks. Now, for example, a workload may be needed that extracts raw data from a database, converts it into a different format, and then inputs it into an application. This would likely be beyond the capabilities of traditional job scheduler, and often administrators had to manually create scripts to get around this problem. Now, even today, according to our research, 79% of organizations, 79% still rely on scheduling scripts that are error-prone, difficult to support, and lack change management and control. So in response to this, job scheduling platforms evolved into workload automation. And workload automation solutions provide a broad range of capabilities to ensure that the right data gets to the right system in the right format at exactly the right time. So for organizations that have adopted workload automation, it really is the backbone of their enterprise IT as it integrates and centrally controls enterprise applications and data sources. This has particularly been true and advantageous for especially large businesses that have used workload automation to maintain a competitive edge.
Yes, and so not only for large enterprises, because the scenario you described applies also for smaller organizations, right?
That's exactly right. In fact, SMBs really need to adopt workload automation to compete effectively in today's more dynamic marketplaces. Despite the fact that they have smaller budgets and fewer support staff, they still need to achieve the same agility and reliability in placing workloads as their larger competitors do. And only workload automation gives them that edge, that capability. Now, according to our research, the primary reasons organizations have not or are unable to adopt a workload automation platform are cost and concerns about extensive training administrators, so really related to ease of use of the platform. In fact, it's ironic that SMBs are less likely to adopt a workload automation platform, even though they would receive a greater benefit from reducing manual efforts and related costs. Now, in a recent survey that we performed, 17% of small businesses and 25% of mid-sized businesses that had adopted a workload automation platform reported that they were very satisfied with the time to market they were able to achieve with complex workload-dependent business services. Now, conversely, only 11% of large enterprises displayed the same level of satisfaction. We also found similar trends in their satisfaction with performance monitoring and their ability to meet SLA compliance requirements. So across the board, workload automation is actually a greater benefit for SMBs. So from my perspective, the real question isn't whether SMBs should be adopting workload automation. The question really is, how can they adopt workload automation with their limited budgets and limited staff resources? So, which is actually, that was what precipitated my blog, because I'm rather excited about some of the announcements that IBM has made about offering a SaaS-based platform that could be more broadly adopted. So, Alexandra, maybe you could describe this particular approach a little bit.
Yes, thank you, Steve, for the opportunity. So, actually, we have been concentrating on the inhibitors of those small companies to adopt a workload automation solution. So, cost, how to avoid to have an initial investment in terms of CapEx to deploy a workload automation solution, to learn how to administrate and maintain such infrastructure, how to ease the line of business application developers to streamline the rollout of their business applications into an automation solution to benefit from those kind of services, so the automation of the repetitive task. So what we have done is to provide a solution as a software as a service solution. So we host the master, the engine, into our cloud, and actually the IBM soft layer cloud, which is a recent acquisition from IBM and one of the largest clouds on the market. And so we host the engine, and the customer just have to get the agent on premises and run its workloads connected to the cloud. So the benefit for the customer is that having the agent on premises, they keep the execution of the workload and the data in-house. The data is not transferred in the cloud. The only information that is passed into the cloud is the plan, so the execution of their process, the background processes. They're based on the time schedule rather than based on the events that are defined by the schedulers, the developers on the system. So our application obviously takes care about the security of the data and the connection. So all connection between the agent and the server are secure. And the communication are only in outbound, so means that there is only the agent on premises that initiate the communication toward the customer. So you may say, so that's the infrastructure part. Those small companies may want to concentrate more on the business side as soon as they are reassured that the fact that the infrastructure is always available. And by the way, we have a 99.8 SLA availability, so that's a great number. So concentrating more on the business side, we also have simplified the initial creation of the workload automation box for our users. So they can benefit from an application catalog to get ready-to-use applications, so where they can connect more easily to their subsystem, to their Cognos report engine, so for the production of all the reporting activities. They can get application to orchestrate the file transfer across the different systems within the company. So those are the off-the-shelf applications that are available on demand. So this is pretty much from the infrastructure side how we avoid the customers to invest too much on the infrastructure and maintenance and concentrate more on the business side. And you can benefit from a trial that is free for 30 days. You can experiment all the automation capabilities we offer. So you can start to download your agents and try the solution to get concrete benefit from automation.
It seems to me all around the board, this is the onboard method for SMBs to adopt workload automation and get away from those reactive manual scripts that are just so prevalent in the industry.
So go to IBM Service Engage.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend for SMBs to check out the service. It seems to me like the best of both worlds, getting the ability to get those critical workload automation capabilities that get you away from manually created scripts and into a more reliable environment, and at the same time do it cost effectively and without having to add additional workforce or infrastructure.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for the great discussion.
Thank you. It was a pleasure speaking with you today.